In this issue of Real Magic Magazine, John Lovick talks with world-famous aerialist Philippe Petit about how his life as a street performer, juggler, pickpocket, and bullfighter have informed his magic.
Like, for example, territory, if I take, this is a little backstage here, but if I take a deck of cards, right, for the reason to start unpacking it and showing, where do I put it? Well, let's say you are my victim I took from the audience. Now, do I say I have a deck of cards, which means I don't care if you open it, if you touch it? Do I say, I have a deck of cards and I protect it in a body language, you're not going to touch it, if not, all my tricks are going to be a fiasco, or do I put it here? Do I put it like this? There's a sense of territory.
Yeah.
Now, I can talk about territory because territory is a secret of bullfighting. And I learn bullfighting, at least I learned the Cape ballet.
And so, growing up in France, I'll ask you, how did you learn bullfighting?
Well, I was street juggling in the south of France and doing a circle of show, creating my comic characters, silent. And then in Arles, beautiful little city in the south, I met a group of maletillas. Maletillas are little kids, 12, 14, 17, who wants to become bullfighter. And they're usually very poor, they sleep in the street, they have no money, they steal food, and they travel to bullfighting, and they try to espontanero, to pull the bull out of the master for just 1 or 2 cape before they're going to be hit on the head by the authority or put in jail for 2 nights. And then some have triumphed that way and become fabulous bullfighters. So I followed them and I learned with them, and I taught them my juggling and they taught me bullfighting. But I was not involved in the, in the killing of the bull. I was interested in the ballet, and it's a dance about territory. It's very interesting. You look at the animal, and if you look well, and you have a few seconds when the bull gets out of the toril, you have a few seconds to observe the bull. He goes around, he gallops, he stops, he smells, he looks, although they're almost blind. So within those few seconds, you have to know where the territory of the bull is, where after maybe 2 vueltas of the arena, he stops, and he stops again. So that's his place. So now that you judge that, you might be wrong. It will cost you your life, but when you know that, you put yourself far away, you call the bull, and then you put yourself between the bull and his favorite territory. And what the bull will want is not so much to deal with you. He will want to go to the place where he feels safe. And maybe it's an odor, it's a light, it's a shadow, nobody knows. It's a bull secret. So the sense of territory that I have learned in bullfighting, I apply it in my street juggling.
Sure.
It's an intuitive thing. I apply it in magic. I was demonstrating that where are the magicians who, before to do a magic trick, think of, where the hand should be. Should it be here? I'm going to show you something. Should it be there? Cross, locked. You cannot touch me. I'm protected. And let me tell you, should it be open? Should it be? All those questions which are intuitive are, in my opinion, what makes good and average magic.
Also in issue 45, Tyler Erickson demonstrates the importance of last action clean and direct lines for destination motivation.
We talked about freeing the hand, the idea of you have something in your hand, you put it somewhere else so this hand can now do something. And that's very common motivation. But if you are going to use destination motivation, you want to make sure you do it right. And it's very important that the object in its journey to its final destination, in this case the cup, is on a straight line. If the cup is here, and I'm going to motivate its transfer by putting it to this hand to put it in the cup, if you look at that journey, it's this zigzaggy path. It makes no sense. It's inefficient, and so it'll read like a move. What I need to do is make sure that for wherever that object is, it will travel as in straight a line as possible to get to where it's going, and I try to get the secondary hand, the receiving hand, to be on that path.
Doc Eason and Garrett Thomas discuss hecklers, friend or foe. David Regal reviews some hot new tricks, fresh from the oven. And John Armstrong discusses how being in one can improve your close-up card magic.
And it's the kind of thing where you're basically in monologue to the audience. So you are relating to them, you're speaking to them, and you're definitely you can even call out and talk to them individually, but you're not really asking them to do anything that is relatable to the effect itself. Which leads me to this. One of the things you never see done in walk around is the ace assembly. or any kind of assembly, because normally you would have to have a table to do it. But I feel it's actually stronger and totally fits with this theme of doing stuff with texture to do it right there in their hands. You have 4 people around you, like for example, these 4 little pads holding their hands like this, and now you do the assembly trick right there in their hands. And this could be any assembly, especially things like even McDonald's Aces. How awesome is it to do McDonald's Aces? We're actually putting the double face gaps right there in their hands, and they're holding like this, and they can't actually inspect the cards. But later on, they're going to say those cards were right in my hands. You're in a beautiful place.
As always, we've got 3 tricks to teach you. In this issue, they're from Jeff Prace, Tom Wright, and John Gostafaro.
So I'm gonna just have you think of one of these cards. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just cut to some random cards in the pack. So there's one. I guess a few more if we have time. There we go. So I've 5 different cards and 5 different parts of the pack. Okay, I'm just hold up so you could see. You're just gonna think of one. Actually, just to make it easy, think about maybe the highest card you see.
Okay.
You have one in mind?
I do.
Okay, so just keep that in your mind. I'm gonna place these cards aside, and I'll just put them over here. So all I know is that you're thinking of one of these 5 cards, Wayne. So we'll mix it up here. Actually, I'm gonna have you hold on to it. So I want you to put your other hand on top of it. Perfect. So you're just thinking of a card. I'm gonna reach in. If I'm lucky that. No, I don't think this is it. I'm getting a vibe. That's not your card, is it? Okay. So yeah. Let's see. That's not it, is it? Okay.
It is not.
There's 3 left. Okay. No, that's not it either, right? Okay, it's 50-50 chance. Are you thinking of the? Is it a king?
Yes, it is.
King of clubs?
Yes, it is.
That's not either. Open your hands, check it out. No, it disappeared, right? It's completely gone. Actually, if you look in the deck, sandwiched in the middle of the pack, there should be the card you're thinking of, the King of Clubs. So.
Great. Nice.
So.